Alrighty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Best Investing Money Management channel on YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be talking about why I just bought Meta stock, also known as Facebook, also known as Meta Platforms, also known as pretty much Facebook, right? They changed their name to Meta because they are huge into the metaverse. They own a whole bunch of companies such as Oculus. But getting back to the points here, why I bought it, kind of what's going on with the company. Well, you guys can see if we actually zoom out and we look at, the past couple of year chart, you guys can see they've done very, very well, right? It had this beautiful upward trend. Everything was going very, very well with the company. And then they released some news, right? The news came out and said, hey guys, for the first time in company history, Facebook platform had decreasing active users. Now, anytime you have something like that, some sort of fundamental catalyst like that, you will have sell-off, right? Because any reaction is an overreaction in the market. And we saw this thing get tanked all the way down to as low as about 185. It did establish some pretty hard support there, right? It hit it several times and just got a lot of buying pressure right there. So then it bounced back up to about 236 and then it sold back off as of today. We've seen a lot of selling pressure from this stock, right? And I know a lot of people like to say, well, Carter, they're not doing so hot. They have decreasing active users and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, right, Facebook is a very, very well-established company. I really believe that given how much Facebook owns, they own a whole bunch of companies from Oculus, which are those, VR headsets. They own WhatsApp and a whole bunch of platforms. You can't compete with that, right? And at the end of the day, $184 a share for a stock and company that brings in billions of dollars, right? This company brought in the past quarter, $33.6 billion, which was still an increase of 19%. And you can see when they announced that, this thing got tanked down. So I definitely think that in the short term, we could have a lot of volatility with this stock. But at the end of the day, they still bring in almost $40 billion in revenue, increasing revenue, own a whole bunch of things, great profit margins, everything. Yes, companies are going to go through a hard time, going to go through a struggle, going to go through volatility. But at the end of the day, volatility for me brings opportunity. So you can see establish some support here at 185. I'm just going to pick up a couple of shares, hold it for the next 5 to 10 years and kind of see what happens, right? Facebook's heavily invested into the metaverse, and I think that is going to be one of the top sectors for the next couple of years. So I definitely think looking back, in 2 to 5 years, I'm going to be wishing I bought more at this price that we're at. It's a great stock, and I just can't argue with how much money they bring in, how much cash on hand they have, billions of dollars in cash. Great profit margins of about 30%. You can't compete. Now, the second stock that I bought here is Coin, also known as Coinbase, right? Coinbase here for me is a little more of a higher risk stock for sure, but also carries a lot of reward. They bring in a lot of money. The past earnings, they did very, very well. If we actually look at it, they brought in about $2.5 billion, a surprise of about $555 million. And you can see when they announced that, they had a little buying pressure, but very shortly, they had a lot of sell-off, right? It's down to about $130 a share. I can't compete with crypto and everything that Coinbase offers. I definitely think this is a higher risk, higher reward play, but for me, it still brings a little opportunity. I'm not going heavy into this one like I am on Facebook, but I'm pretty much putting about 2 to 4% of my money into Coinbase. So what that means is for every $100 I have invested into other stocks, assets, all of that, I don't mind putting $2 to $4 into a company like this because of the sector it's in. And the beauty of it is if that just say this thing tanks down and goes to zero, I'm only out 2 to 4% of my portfolio. But if this thing pops back up to even up here, to 360 or even 430, I'm doubling, if not quadrupling my money, and I own some shares. So it's a great stock. I'm a huge believer in the company, and I understand that this is a higher risk, higher reward play, but it's one that I'm definitely just taking a little stab at and kind of seeing what's going on with it. So guys, that is it. Those are the top 2 stocks that I'm buying. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. We will see you later. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and stay safe. Take care.